Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CK Stories from the Heart. I'm your host, Charles King. There are moments in life when a person doesn't just rise, they rebuild. When life hands them weight, they don't collapse under it, they lift it. Today's guest is the embodiment of that truth. From Ghana to Dubai, from insecurity to identity, from guarding others to guiding others, Prince Boadi is a living reminder that transformation is not an event, but a decision. A decision to show up, a decision to fight for yourself, a decision to believe that with God, discipline, and relentless consistency, you can become the strongest version of who you were created to be. On CK Stories from the Heart, we celebrate people who don't just survive their story, they rewrite it. And Prince is one of those rare individuals whose journey doesn't just inspire, it instructs. His life teaches us that fitness is not about muscles, it's about identity, healing, and reclaiming the parts of yourself you once abandoned. So today, we're diving deep into a man behind Elite Physique Coaching, a global brand built for fathers, high performers, and everyday people who sacrifice their bodies while building their lives. Prince is more than a coach. He is a testimony, he is a blueprint, he is a proof that transformation is possible. Family, get ready. This is going to be powerful. Welcome, Prince Bodie, to the show. Hello, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us or listening to us from. I'm glad to be on the show. I hope we are going to have a great time together and learn so much more.
Yeah, your camera got your head going sideways.
Let me just adjust it a little bit. Yeah. Is it okay now?
No, it's this way. It's not upright.
It's not upright.
No, it's pointing this way.
Give me a second, please. We're good
There
now?
you go. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Yes, hey, I appreciate you for being here. And when we discussed you coming on the show, and when we had our discussion and talking about the work that you do, that's so important here in everyday life. And I just think with you being here on CK Stories from the Heart, with it being more than just about fitness and just how things are working for people every day. I really appreciate you for being here to give us some insight on an enormous amount of things, especially when it comes to health. Can you tell us, when you look back at the young man you were in Ghana, skinny, fatherless, and unsure, what do you think he would say about the man you've become today?
To be very honest, it's not been a plain sail in the first place.
Hmm.
Sometimes I look back at some of my old pictures and I'm like, you should be proud of yourself for how far you've come,
Hmm.
because at an earlier age I did understand pretty well that my life is going to be different from the ordinary kids, so I understood the task at hand and I knew that I'll have to be doing the work in a different way as compared to other kids of my age at the moment. So it wasn't a plain sail. It hasn't been a plain sail. If I look back at the kid I was then, and I look at how far I've been able to come by God's grace, of course, and the supportive community that I have around me, um,
Hmm.
like my previous self will really be proud of who I am at the moment and where I am headed. So, yeah, I'm really grateful for the journey and everything it's taught me and still continues to teach me.
How do you think your father would feel seeing the man that you've become, the great person that you are now, how you've just risen like a phoenix?
To be very honest, he will be proud. That's the first thing because I am the last born, of course. and I have elder siblings. So first and foremost, to look at how far I've been able to not only transform my physical body, but also how it has shaped who I've become on the way. I believe that pride will be one of the most important traits or attribute that he'll be feeling about me at the moment. So yeah, that's it.
So you walked into a gym in 2016 and you never looked back. What was the emotional moment behind that decision?
It was really about trying as much as possible to build myself, because I was like growing up, I was very skinny, and just being bullied in school and everything that comes with, being a kid, like who is lacking confidence and all that. It was like something that really shaped me, not only from the physical side, but also mentally, because like I most of the time we think about going to the gym to lift weights, but what actually happens is that it's more of a mental activity that is disguised as a physical one. So emotionally, I believe that it transformed me from the inside, and then everything started to appear from the outside. So that's how I feel like it transformed me.
So, how did after you went through the situation there with your father, did that influence your discipline and your identity and your purpose?
Growing up, he was part present for a period of time,
Mm,
and then he was like then absent for also a couple of years. Learning to stand up for yourself, learning to understand that most of the time you have to do things alone. It wasn't always easy, but we had to fight through things. We had to make sure that things were always working, even though it wasn't like a plain sail. So we understood how much that affected us, of course, in the positive way and sometimes in the negative way. But we always tried as much as possible to see things from a positive aspect or positive perspective, because in life you get thrown at with lemons, but you can decide to make lemonades out of the lemons, or you can also decide to just be a victim. It's all about choices and perspective on how you decide to see things. So whatever happened from our childhood, my childhood, I believe that just reframing it as happening for me rather than to me helped shape who I became and who I'm still becoming.
mm. You spent 4 years in private security in Dubai.
Yes.
How did that season prepare you for the man you are now that got you into the fitness arena?
To be very honest, it wasn't easy, moving from Ghana to Dubai. It comes with a whole new challenges, I would say, because first and foremost, you have to adjust to the environment, the people, the food, the weather. A lot of adjustments needed to be made, and it's still a fast-growing environment that you still have to be at par or be left behind. So what happened is that, like, just settling in, we had to try as much as possible. I had to try as much as possible to learn quickly, to learn faster, and have no room for being sorry for myself, regardless of the mistakes that I made. And being in private security, as brutal as it may be, I believe that there are some certain characteristics that you can still pick from there that translate not only to fitness, but also to all other parts of life, like daily discipline, being organized, and all these stuffs. To be honest, I started lifting weights. My fitness journey started 5 years before I moved to Dubai. So I believe that building daily discipline and great from that early years before I moved here, it really helped me into settling in and adjusting basically to life in Dubai and building just it made it a little bit easier for me, I would say.
So again, what's interesting is I love your approach to how you went to the organization, executing the things that you planned and how you planned them to be. Can you tell us when you decided, after starting with the security firm and you knew what you wanted to do in fitness, what was the thing that got you to that point you said, well, now is the time?
After 4 years in private security, I was still self-educating. I was learning on my own during after working hours. So it's more of using my that time 12 to 12 because we were working for 12 hours. So I used my 12 to 12 to like self-study and self-educate while I was still building myself, learning more about fitness and nutrition at the other
Mhm.
side. So after year 4, I felt like I have learned so much more that I could still use it to impact other people who are in need and who are struggling in the fitness industry in just getting their lives and their bodies in shape. So it came from within. I got the feeling
Mhm.
that I am at a point in life where I have so much more to offer that I believe I should focus more on that. I should pursue what my heart is pushing me to do because at the end of the day, we have only one life, and in the end, it's always about not having regrets. So after year 4, I felt like yeah, this is the right time for me to move on, as I felt like I have maxed out on so much that I needed to share with the world.
Mm. So, at what point did you realize fitness wasn't just something you did, it was who you were called to be?
It happened earlier on, especially in the first 2 years, because I started with a friend, to be very honest. And most of the time, when we pick up a new habit, what happens is that instead of us seeing ourselves as the person we want to be, we always think about the goal we want to achieve. So, a lot of people, especially when it comes to fitness, just as in most things, you have to make it your identity. In the first 1 to 2 years, I saw myself as someone who is already in shape, someone who is already taking care and prioritizing his health and fitness. So, when you see yourself in that and then you make it become your identity, it makes things not easier but also more smoother. And then you think about the long term because just like fitness, the game of life in so many different aspects is played like it's more of an infinite goal. So like the moment you begin to approach it with a finite mindset, things get so much more difficult for you. So in the first 1 to 2 years, I felt like I am the person. I made it my identity, and that's what, to be very honest, took me through so many times that I felt like, okay, give up, give up. But I'm like someone who is embodying that identity of taking care of your health. Are you giving up? Why do you have to give up? So seeing myself in that, making it my identity, made it more better and easier for me.
Okay. Now let's get to, you at this next plateau, elite physique and coaching. Tell us about the name. How did the name come about?
Yeah, so to be honest, the name Elite Physique, it it's something that I stood down, I thought about it. I am like, what is one name that if I pick, it will just embody not everyone, but also the high performers that we prioritize on working with? So most of them, especially the entrepreneurs, founders, CEOs that we are working with, they pride themselves in like just maxing out on a lot of things. So the term elite, it's like up there maxing out in the most important parts of the things that you are working towards. And I felt like with the people, a tight knit group that we usually work with, the name Elite Physique just it fits the whole narrative perfectly.
Mhm. So, elite physique coaching is more than a brand, it's a mission. What makes your coaching different from traditional fitness programs?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things that we do offer, especially for high performers, that normally you wouldn't get from ordinary coaching because most coaching plans are just generic, to be very honest. So we specialize on just talking and discussing into detail what actually the plans and the desires or the goals of the person or the potential client is going to be, and then we customize everything from nutrition all the way down to workout plans. And then we also offer like personal assistance and support. It's not like only one person who is handling like 5, 10, 15, 20 clients. That makes it difficult for them to focus and pay attention. It's more about having multiple eyes on you that are specialized in different aspects. So we have a nutritional support system, we have a strength training support system, and then we have the general accountability support system. So you have like 3 to 4 people handling one person. That makes it more than easier for you not only to achieve your goals of whatever they may be, getting in shape, losing fat, building muscle, but also just making it your identity. So you have that support from everywhere that you can always imagine, just as compared to other fitness programs that are just generic or PDF. We have systems also in place that we offer so that you don't feel like, oh, it's just like any other generic coaching plan or fitness plan that you can find out there. Most of the things are tailored and specialized to you, the individual, and your lifestyle.
Wow. So then, when you get your clients or when your clients are seeking the fitness training and help, how does your consultations work, and how do you actually come up with an actual plan that your clients normally, they agree with, you get to go, you get them working and things start materializing? How does that work?
So first and foremost, the people that we work with, most of them, whether from online or through referrals, we first and foremost send them links that directly allows them to book a free discovery call. Then we sit down for like 45 minutes. We discuss whatever their goals are, how their schedule looks like, their lifestyle and everything. And then we are able to then go into detail on what they have tried before, how things worked, which ones worked and which ones didn't work. Then after the initial consultation call, we also assess them whether they have had previous injuries and any other limiting lifestyles that will prevent them or be an obstacle to them achieving their goal. We help them from that side, and then we establish how many days or how much time they can commit to their workout plans. With their nutrition plans, we also talk about what they are allergic to, the foods that they have available to them. If they are, let's say, for example, high performers who wouldn't have time to meal prep, we give them options of meal prepping companies that they can sign up with to make things more easier. Then from there, we use all the information and the data that we have to customize everything to suit their lifestyle and their needs.
Well, so are there like particular age ranges that you work with, or how does that work when it comes to just the different groups of people? That is from age range to gender and so forth. How does that work?
So currently we have a team that we have assigned to like different age groups, for example. So our target or our primary target is like busy fathers, entrepreneurs, and high performers who, let's say, for example, through their careers, things got a little bit busier for them to be able to take care of their health. We simplify health and fitness for them. So those are our main, I would say, primary target or our target market, so that for them, they do know the importance of unlocking a new level of performance, and they know how much important health and fitness is in relation to that. Apart from that, we also have a different set of group of like specialists who are also dedicated to beginners. So if you're a beginner who wants to get in shape, we have that set of trainers or people that are specialized in, because they have been there before and they do understand the psychology and the things that they really need, especially as beginners, to just bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to get to. So that basically, I would say, is our main aim. It doesn't really matter whether it's women or men. We have ladies we are working with, we have men we are working with. So both genders are okay, but usually it's high performers and beginners. We transition them from where they are, how they are stuck, and then we get them potentially to their destination.
Mhm. So your work with fathers, high performers, and people of color who often carry silent burdens. Why is this group so important to you?
First and foremost, I am a person of color, so I understand the special needs and the special attention. Sometimes it may not even be physical, it may be mental, so we get to understand the psychology behind everything. A lot of the things, for me, I say that fitness is just a mental activity disguised as a physical one, because the nice body, the six pack, the bikini body, whatever it may be that people long for or people are chasing, I believe that it's an add on to the many benefits that exercise has to offer. So just being able to understand the psychology, I feel like I have been there before, especially as a person of color, and it makes it easier for me to be able to help them, and just basically the team together help them to be able to just move them from where they are or what got them stuck to where they want to get to. So that, I believe, it's more easier for me because I understand the people as a whole.
Mhm. So many men build careers but lose themselves physically. What patterns do you see most often in the clients who come to you?
It's more about, especially, responsibilities piling up, marriage compared to high, like, let's say, elevation in careers. Maybe they were before at the lower class or lower rank, but then as they climb the corporate ladder, it comes with task and more stress and other things. So all these things do compound, and when they do compound, like coupled with other things like family stress and other responsibilities back at home, I believe this is one of the biggest problems that mostly fathers and high performers encounter, because there's so much more that we can focus on at the end of the day. And when there are always tasks that you have to focus on, especially in your corporate life, or if you are an entrepreneur trying to build a business, then it makes it more easier. Most people are like, okay, tomorrow I'll go to the gym. Okay, when things get a lot less stressful. Okay, when the baby is born. Okay, when I do this. But then it becomes excuses and excuses and excuses. Not because they want to, but because they put it at the back burner. Understanding that, okay, there will be a time, but there is not always too much time. You can never have more than 24 hours in a day. And when you keep on not prioritizing it, then it becomes more of a problem. So basically, it's all about stress and just the responsibilities that come with building businesses and brands, which is a big one, and climbing the corporate ladder. So these are some of the things that I have seen that becomes a big of a problem for people and prevent them from getting in shape.
You know what? I gotta tell you, I'll probably be one of those guys. I mean, when I say that, I have a home gym, so it's just getting out there. And I think sometimes, with time and getting caught up and being so busy, that sometimes it kind of like it takes you away to where you really are not thinking about that subconsciously. What are some of the things from the mental perspective that you help your clients with to get them back into that focus?
First and foremost, to get rid of the all or nothing mindset. That's the first thing.
Okay.
So most people think, oh, if I cannot go to the gym for like an hour, then I shouldn't go at all. But you are
Mhm,
just like a 30 minutes desk workout away from completely transforming the way you feel. And most
mhm,
people think that they need like 1 to 2 hours, 5 days a week, just to be in the best shape of their lives. It's not about that. You just need
mhm,
maximum 30 minutes to 45 minutes, 3 times weekly maximum. That's what most people need to be able to get themselves in the best shape possible. The second thing is like about the nutrition, thinking about fat diets, because they see a lot of people preaching about keto, paleo, XYZ, this type of diet. At the end of the day, it all comes down to consuming everything in moderation. If you are able to do everything in moderation, what we actually tell our clients is 80% consistency, 80% of the time. If you are able to do this, you are as close to your goal as possible. And the third thing is identity shift. Most people, they don't see themselves as someone who takes care of their health or who are already in shape. When it happens like that, just like I was saying, it's a mental activity disguised as a physical one. So if you already psych yourself and you see yourself as someone who is already in shape or who already prioritizes him or herself, then it makes it far more easier, because at the end of the day, I want to lose weight is completely different from I am a person who takes care of my body. So that small mentality shift is what can change a lot of things for so many people. Then the last one
mhm,
I'll talk about is playing the long game, because the game of health and fitness is an infinite one. Just like you can talk about investments, you can talk about marriage for most people. If you approach an infinite game with an infinite mindset, then it means that you are in for the long run. Because, for example, if you say that, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds, what happens after you lose the 10 pounds?
mhm.
But if you think about playing the long game, then
Right.
you know that, okay, I am in for the long haul. And these are some of the things that I feel like when people do these small mindset shifts and these small things, it will just be a game changer.
Mhm. So you talk a lot about identity. How does fitness help a man reclaim who he truly is?
So the first thing is that when you go to the gym, you basically build mental grit. That's the first
Mhm,
thing. You follow through. There are a lot of people who say things to themselves and then they don't follow through. If there is one person that you can never lie to, it's yourself. So when
mhm,
you begin to say things to yourself and you actually follow through, I want to start going to the gym, and then you go each and every day that you are supposed to, you build some form of mental strength that transfers to other parts of your life. Most of the lessons that we learn in the gym are lessons that transfer into real life.
mhm,
Daily discipline, delayed gratification, consistency, commitment, they are not gym attributes. They are things that just transpires or transfers itself. They manifest in all other areas of our lives. So when you are able to get your body in shape, it's just a reflection of all these things in your life. Immediately someone sees you, they see that, okay, this is a person who has like daily discipline. He is able to delay gratification for a very long time. He is consistent. he can do the boring things for a long time before expecting to see some form of benefits. That's one thing that most people are not able to stick to. So just in general, these things, when you are able to do it, when you are able to get your body in shape, people basically see you and they are like, okay, he has been through a lot of things to be able to get himself into this shape. They trust you so much better.
Hmm. Okay. What's the biggest misconception people have about transformation?
When it comes to transformation, they think that it's all about the physical looks.
Hmm.
But just like we discussed, the mental, even the emotional,
Hmm.
psychological, because research shows that even like fitness, it transpires and transfers into all other aspects of your life. So
Hmm.
people think about the six packs or the bikini body, the nice body that you build and the muscles, and they think that, oh, that's it. But the mental and the emotional benefits, they exceed all of them. So that is one big misconception that people have about fitness, thinking that it's all physical. No, the benefits are just so much more. It transcends physical.
Hmm. So you've helped clients achieve incredible results. What transformation story has impacted you the most?
Working with a 12-year kid,
Hmm.
he was suffering a little bit. um, they had tried a lot of different things, and I mean, I've overseen some of, like, some big transformation, but with him, his case was a little bit special, so he needed special treatment. And his parents pushed him in so many different aspects, trying one meal a day, forcing him, cutting out carbohydrates and all these things. But we just went through the normal, consistent routine, just playing the long game, sticking to the basics for as long as possible. The reason why it's made more meaning to me personally as the trainer himself is that it got to a point whereby the kid needed it more. And for a 12-year kid, getting to understand the importance of getting your body in shape and knowing that it is more about him than it is about everything, at the end of the day, he struggled a little bit, but we were able to help him see things from a different perspective. He got to where he wanted to get to in terms of weight and body goals. And then he was someone, like, he started attributing things, like, let's say for example, you help someone to get in shape, but then now when they see you, they don't see you as the person that you are. They see you as someone who helped them improve their quality of life. So he was more about, okay, this is the coach who helped me. Seeing smiles on other people's faces, knowing that you are the source of it, it's something that filled my heart very well. So I feel like
Hmm.
that had an impact on me as a person.
Okay. And so I forgot one thing earlier as we started the interview. Can you tell us, you say you do have an online presence, right? You do work with people online.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that process.
Yeah, so we have systems. We have our online coaching platform where everything is there in terms of what the person will need to get in shape. So from after our initial discovery call and we establish all the basics, we transfer all the information into our online coaching system where we input your personal details, then we customize your workout program, we customize your meal plan, and then we build an accountability system for you. If you are someone who is interested in building a specific habit, then we also include them into the habit formation section. Then we give you time, everything is in your calendar. When you have the times and the dates, then you know what you have to do for each day. So for example, let's say it's Sunday evening, tomorrow, Monday morning, you will see what you have in your calendar, maybe a strength session. Then all your workouts that you have for that strength session is there. When you complete, it has videos, it has sets and reps and everything that you need. You know what to do. You don't have to overthink. You just go into the gym, execute, and then exit. Then after that, your meal plans are generated there, customized to your caloric needs and everything. Then you know what you have to also eat. You have options to also choose from, so you don't have to overthink, because decision fatigue, especially when it comes to nutrition, is one thing that hold people back a lot. So knowing what to eat, how much you have to eat, and having options to choose from is one thing that simplifies everything. For other top performers who don't have the time to track what they have to eat, we have the nutritional support system with our nutritionists and our coaches. The only thing they have to do is to just take a picture of it and send it to us directly, and then we do the heavy lifting for them. Then once every week, we offer also accountability sessions and check-ins, where we talk to them one on one, and then we help them with their in body metrics, how things are going, what the scale is telling us, how their lifestyle is changing, and sleep and everything, and how we can just improve. So these are some of the things that we offer in our coaching. Everything is customized to your lifestyle. It fits like a glove, so you don't have to overthink on anything. At the end of the day, the clients are our priority, so we do everything possible for them to be able to get them into the best shape of their lives.
So as we're doing the show right now, and for those people that are actually watching, and for those that maybe want to do online services with you, like including people here in the US, tell them, what does elite physique coaching, what is it going to do for them, and why they should choose elite physique as their personal trainers to get them back to where they need to be.
We believe that quality is greater than quantity. And when you sign up to work with Elite Physique Coaching, you are not signing up for quantity, you are not signing up for generic plans, you are signing up for something that is tailored to fit your lifestyle like a glove. You don't have to get into the gym for 1.5 or 2 hours a day, every day of the week. And what we guarantee you is results. The only thing that you have to do is to just show up and then do the work. As long as you show up and then you do the work, we do all the heavy lifting for you, especially with our trainers and our nutritionists. We help you as much as possible. You have no other option than to succeed. It's not about all or nothing. It's about you doing the basics and doing them well. We don't sell fancy meal plans. We just stick with the consistent basics that have proven to work over and over again. So yeah, these are some of the things that we believe it helps our people because of the result that we have overseen over the course of the few years.
So, how do you help clients push through the mental barriers that often stop them before the physical ones do?
It's about understanding first what is costing you.
Mhm.
I had a client tell me that before he was a client, he went to pick the child from school, and the friends thought he was the grandfather
Mhm.
just because of the way he looked, So it's about what is costing me at the moment. Instead of seeing it as an expense, you ask yourself, okay, what is not getting in shape costing me? The performance,
Mhm.
the pain that you have maybe from your knee. Most people think that they have a knee problem, but what they actually do have is a waist problem and a weight problem, because every pound of fat that you lose from your waist takes 3 to 5 pounds of stress from your knee and then from your hips. So
Oh
most
wow.
people thinking that they need a knee surgery are actually suffering from a weight problem. So all these things, not being able to climb the staircase, not being able to play with your kids, panting here and there, the mood crashes at work 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon, just feeling shy, not being able to get your shirt off, especially the summer coming and all these things. These are some of the things, even with high performers, once you get your body in shape, you see how people will learn to trust you more and just the level of productivity that it unlocks for you. So all these things, they are the things that you don't actually see until someone highlights them to you, or you get yourself in shape and you are like, whoa, I was really missing out on a lot. These are some of the things. That's why we
Yeah.
talk about um, the fitness transcending just the physical looks, because you are sitting on a gold mine of performance if you are over 20% body fat. That's it.
Mm. So, what is your motivation? Because, you have to be really inspired to do this work. What's your motivation?
First and foremost, I'll say this, just being able to see smile on other people's faces, knowing that you are the source of it. Um, when I speak to some of our clients, when we are doing check ins and they are like, you have changed my life,
Mhm,
that in itself, it fills your heart so much. I have a
mhm.
client in Germany. We are currently working with a busy high performer, traveling all the time. Now he's getting compliments from the missus, and the missus is pushing to go to the gym with him. So
Oh,
some of
wow.
the things, some of these things, it's about you, but also it's about the people you have around you. Are you able
Mhm,
to give them your best self? So, us being able to help other people to give themselves or the best part of themselves to their loved ones, these are some
mhm,
of the things that actually fills our hearts. Because at
mhm,
the end of the day, if you are having like X millions of dollars in your account and you are not able to play with your kids, I mean, sometimes the most important things in life are not actually things. They are the people and the memories and everything. So if you are not able to play with your kids because you start panting, or you are not able to help your wife with the groceries, all these things, like, how is it going to end? Like, so just seeing us being able to improve the quality of life of other people, I believe it's a perfect motivation.
mhm. Well, I'll tell you this, you are definitely inspiring and motivating me. That's most definitely.
Thank you very
Um,
much.
the body is a high performance environment. How has that shaped your approach to coaching?
To be very honest, when I moved here in the beginning, I didn't understand a lot of things because I was very young then and I was still growing. Even now, I'm still growing. But just getting to interact with people from different perspectives, different walks of life, um, different culture, different mentality, different educational background. You get to learn so much from them, building relationships, because the more you help other people, the more other people also see what you bring to the table. So just as a high performer, helping other high performers unlock a new level of performance, it's one of those things that um, you can't really understand how it is or what it is until um, you get into it. But just building meaningful relationship is one of those things that is like priceless. So it's really helped us a lot. And Dubai is like one of the places that relationships are like priceless, I would say.
So, I mean, have you been able to, as you're growing your business outward, have you been able to establish an enormous amount of partnerships, and collaborations with your business as you're growing?
At the moment, we are still in the process, not completely yet, but we are still talking to people,
Mhm.
because in Dubai, especially, the reputation, has to be built before you get the opportunity to do some of these things. And we are still growing, and we are still in the process. 2026 has been a little bit different in terms of what has happened in the whole of the Middle East, which has slowed down things a little bit. But we are recovering, and we are working on things. So potential partnerships and other things, we are open to them, of course. But at the moment, no, we don't have any.
So, what role does faith play in your discipline, your mindset, and your coaching philosophy?
The Bible itself, for the Christians up here, I believe the Quran also, even though I cannot quote a specific verse in there, but it talks about your body being the temple of Christ. So if you really want Christ or Allah or whatever you believe in to be like in your life, or you want your body to be the temple of your object of worship, or even at least to be able to worship your object of worship well, whether it's God, Allah, or whatever you believe in, at the end of the day, if you are not in perfect health, how is it going to be possible? It's almost impossible to do that. You can't pour into someone else's cup if yours is empty. And I believe
Ooh.
that when you do put your body in the best shape possible, it's not being selfish. It's actually being selfless, because now your cup is 100% full. You are energetic. You are okay. You are in the right frame of mind, and then you will be able to offer your best self to whatever your object of worship is. So faith and fitness, they are intertwined in so many different ways. You cannot be unhealthy and then be able to go to church or mosque or whatever you believe in. So just being in shape, it also opens these doors for you. It's like tidying your house. Once your house is clean, you can invite your object of worship to come inside, whether it's God or Allah or whatever you believe in.
You built your brand from scratch. What were the hardest moments and how did you push through them?
The transition from my regular job
Mhm.
and establishing myself and the business, you know, because we were thinking it's all about helping people. In as much as it's about helping people, it is also about building relationships. A mentor of mine told me that um, if the clients are able to get results, it's on them. But whether the
Mhm.
client chooses to stay with you for 5 years or one
Mhm.
month, it's on you. So
Mhm.
it's about results, but it's also about relationships. You have to genuinely learn to care about people, And in the beginning, I was um, not in the known about that. I was thinking, okay, it's all about helping someone to get in shape. In as much as it is the priority and it is the primary aim of the person, genuinely caring about the person and what the person is going through, sometimes out of fitness, because as a trainer and as like an online coach, you are not only a coach, you are a therapist, you are a friend, you are a nutritionist to a point, you are a confidant, because the person cannot perform mentally or even physically in the gym when they are not in the right frame of mind. So just getting to care genuinely about people and their performance or their well-being, it's one thing that we had to learn the hard way, So relationships in general, because it's out of these, then people can do other referrals and help you in so many different ways. So yeah, I
Mhm.
believe the relational aspect of it was was one thing that really surprised me a little bit.
Mm. So for someone that's listening right now who feels stuck in their body or their life, what is the first step towards change?
Mindset, I'll say changing their perception, um, their identity, their mentality about fitness. Um, if you see it as something which is difficult or almost impossible to achieve, if you see someone in good shape and you are like, it's too difficult or I cannot be like him, chances are you are not going to be like him, because at the end of the day, you have closed your mind to all possibilities. But when you ask yourself, how can I be like him? How can I look like him? How can I look like someone who takes care of their health? If you ask yourself these questions, you are opening your mind to a whole set of possibilities. So I can't closes your mind to all sorts of possibilities. How can I open your minds to all sorts of possibilities? Because now you are curious to find out how you can actually do it rather than just closing. So it all comes down to changing your mind, changing your perception, and changing your identity.
Mm. Um, be relentless, be fearless, be fit mean to you on a personal level?
From the beginning, just like being skinny, I wasn't from the fatter side, I was skinny. So I said in the beginning that I started the gym with a few friends. Um,
Mhm,
we had a coach back then, and it was like brutal session for us, you know. So my friends that I started with, they had to quit, but
mhm,
through relentless pursuits, I pushed through. It got really tough at a point
mhm,
because you are still new. You don't have a lot of knowledge in terms of even your body, nutrition, anatomy, and
mhm,
just like mindset. So being relentless, I had to push through from that side. There were other obstacles that I had to overcome in terms of from the inside. So I taught myself to be fearless. And this led to me being fit in the end. So it's just like things that I have experienced and that has gone on to shape who I have become.
mhm. You balance being a coach, a leader, and a man still evolving in his own journey.
It's it's been a tough one because life in itself is an endless cycle of learning. So I won't say it's been easy. Of course, it's been like a difficult one. But being able to generally have other people around you that you can learn from, that has really, really helped a lot. When you have someone who knows the road that you want to go on, it's more easier to be able to soak knowledge from them. So having people around you, having people around me, it has really, really helped me a lot. Um, and also just continuously learning new resources, new things, new books, learning more about the people, learning more about human body, and
Mhm,
filtering them through the lens of who you want to be or how you want to become in terms of leadership, because at the end of the day, people are different and you can't be the same leader to all people. Sometimes you have to be the guide, sometimes you have to be um, the leader, sometimes you have to be like a counselor. You know, there are different roles that you can use to help people get to their destination. So at the end of the day, it's all about just consistent learning and improving, but having people around me that have helped me and shaped who I am becoming.
mhm. So, what do you want elite physique coaching to represent globally in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I see physics coaching transforming as many high performers as possible. We don't want to put a specific number on it, because at the end of the day, we believe that it's all about the mind. We know how far we can go, but only those who are willing to go so far can possibly find out how far they can go. So that at the moment is to transform as many lives as possible, and understanding or making people understand that no matter who you are, no matter what the obstacles are, you can get in shape.
Final question for you. And finally here, Prince, what is the message you want to leave on the hearts of everyone listening today?
First and foremost, I'll say that it is possible, but I also want everyone to understand that if you have not yet gotten your body in shape, you have no idea how much you are leaving on the table. Seeing yourself as such, sometimes it doesn't even have to come from the financial side, but just being your best version of yourself, not only for you, but for the people who depend on you, is one of the biggest things that you can give to anyone. So, yeah, it is possible. And then I urge each and everyone to try as much as possible, as hard as possible, to get themselves in shape. It will be a game changer.
So, do you have any words of wisdom and encouragement you'd like to leave with our audience? Can you tell them how to connect with you via your social media, your website, or any of those good things you want them to know, especially about elite fitness?
So, first and foremost, I would love to appreciate the audience for spending their last 1 hour with us. Um, Being with us, it means so much to me, and like just basically learning from us. I believe that each and everyone who spent their last 1 hour got something little that they can take away and implement. But most importantly, seeing and understanding that fitness is a lifelong game. It's a game of um, no end, and just doing like everything possible to get themselves in shape. It will be something special. My social media, of course, I'm on Instagram, I'm on X, which is Twitter, and I am also on LinkedIn. You can find me on all platforms with my name at Aboagye Boadi, at ABOAJYE and I send newsletters each and every Saturdays and Wednesdays. So we share valuable insight to people, high performers, and entrepreneurs on actionable tips that get them into the best shape of their lives. So when you enter into our profiles, all the links are there for coaching. All the links are also there for newsletters and any other products.
So, so in closing, I'm actually going to close now. I'm going to do a monologue, but also there's some things I'd like to say to the audience. Do you have a few minutes after I close the show to hang around?
Of course, yeah, of course.
So, in closing today, I want to thank each and every individual that's been here with us this hour. I appreciate your time, but for those of you that have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channels, I would appreciate if you would please support us by subscribing and enabling all notifications so that you're able to get the shows when they go live. And you can also you'll be able to go back and watch all of our previous recorded shows, including our shows from America in Black and White. So, in closing, Prince, your story is a reminder that transformation is not reserved for the chosen; it's available to the committed. You've shown us that discipline is a form of self love, that healing can happen under a barbell, and that faith can carry a man further than fear ever will. Your journey from Ghana to Dubai, from 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 insecurity to identity, from guarding others to guiding others, it speaks to the power of purpose. And today, you didn't just share your story, you shared your heart. On behalf of CK Stories from the Heart, thank you for reminding us that no matter where we start, we can choose who we are, who we become, and to everyone listening, your transformation begins the moment you decide you're worth fighting for. Be relentless, be fearless, be fit, and above all, be true to the story. God is writing through you. Thank you all. Please have a great evening, and we will see you guys next Sunday for